Since I can't reveal myself to my mother now, I must find a discreet spot to attend the ceremony.
I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. And whosoever liveth and believeth in me shall never die. We commend unto thy hands of mercy, most merciful Father, the soul of our sister departed, and we commit her body to the ground. Earth to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
Why kill my Mary and stick her here in this cold, god-awful place?
These are the legal requirements for the epidemic, madam.
Oh, Avery, I feel so tired. Please take me home.
Yes, madam.
Oh, Mary. What have I done? If I could only change one thing. One thing. This is a nightmare.
Jonathan, there is nothing you can do but accept it.
What brings you here?
I thought you could use the company. I am...
She was a good person. Vibrant.
You're a good person, Jonathan. And a young Ekon. A newborn cast into the night without so much as a candle.
She had been scouring the most dangerous parts of London in search of me. And it led to her death.
Jonathan, don't.
I still hear her last thoughts. They echo.
Jonathan, stop. Listen carefully. You must come...
How can I? I've destroyed my family.
Don't you see? You're doing the work of our enemies, feeding your remorse. We are weakest when we grieve, and the guilt blurs us.
And so this is why you're here. To warn me. You felt this pain yourself. You too have endured this.
I don't want to lose you, Jonathan. I've lost so many friends. Loved ones I cherished. Pray for Mary.
I'm not a religious man.
This is not about you forgiving yourself. This is for her. This is you telling Mary how sorry you are.
What should I do then?
St. Mary's Church is not far from here. Go there and make your peace. Find the solace you need.
My lady wants me to confess.
No, Jonathan. It's you who wants to confess, I think.
And off to church he goes, a newborn seeking divine consent to lick the blood from the soft and pointy crown.
Who are you? Make yourself known.
Newborn, you reek of guilt and pointless compassion. Shed your skin, forget your old weaker self.
What do you want from me?
Ascalon does not approve of lone wolves who bring unwanted eyes to our pastures.
So your name is Ascalon?
Ascalon's will is vampire law. Learn them, abide by them, or I shall return as your judge and jury.
These immortals try my patience with their plans and unsolicited counsel.
I shall fear no evil. Over there! One of them vermin!
This man stunned me with his faith. His crucifix. This is not good news.
Over there! There's one of them vermin!
Hello again. Very... Hello again. Very...
Oh, Camellia, the silent flower of Whitechapel, an angel made flesh.
Yes? What is it that you want?
I'm sorry to disturb you at such a late hour.
No worries, my son. I'm still quite awake, having just returned from a funeral.
Yes, I know. I've forgotten what I wanted. I don't know.
May I help you, child? You seem somewhat perturbed.
I haven't the strength to cross the threshold. I wish to pray, to cleanse my soul.
The church is shut by order of the bishop. But I'm still the vicar of St. Mary's, if that is any use to you, my son.
I've no need for a kind ear, only a moment of peace.
There are no secrets from God, my son. If your heart needs comfort, consider me your chapel. For I can be as silent.
I've words for one departed. They're not for living ears to hear.
Your eyes burn with rage, yet I see the pain that lies beyond. I am here to lighten the burden of all God's creatures. Whatever you tell me is between us and the Lord.
Very well, priest, as you seem quite adamant.
Open your heart, my son. Tell me what burdens you. With whom do you wish to speak?
She was my sister.
You seem so troubled by the loss of this girl. What happened to her?
She was murdered.
I see. And how are you feeling, my son?
She died because of me. How do you think I feel?
I have a final question for you, my son. This is of the utmost importance.
Ask your question, Vicar.
What words would you like to say to your poor sister?
I killed you. There's no excuse. My dear Mary, forgive me.
You have been heard, my son, and your burden will lighten if your words are sincere. Go in peace now, and live your life in the way she would have wanted.
There. I confessed to that vicar. Do I feel better? Only time will tell.
Good evening.
Have you any news of Nurse Crane and her...
It appears the dispensary is now a major source of contagion in Whitechapel. Someone should do something about it. But...
Good. Good evening.
Change.
Clayton Darby claims he will expose the crisis in Whitechapel to all of London. Do you believe him?
I believe Clayton's courage will erode with time, until he finally leaves Whitechapel to start another fight somewhere else.
Why this skepticism?
How can you speak about starvation if you've never been hungry? Or about poverty? Or anything else you have never suffered from?
Are you talking from...
I've seen your type come here to get a good fuck in a cheap room or a dark alley before going back to their fancy houses in the West End.
What do you know about Nurse...
2 girls I know went to the dispensary yesterday.
Goodbye.
You...
How did you become the local bully everyone is afraid of?
There's no pride in roughing up poor bastards. But this is the only job I've found. And it pays well.
A job? So you're racketeering?
I got enlisted by the Wet Boot Boys, a gang from the docks. I'm their muscle for their dirty work.
Most people don't become thugs when unemployed.
I don't care what you think, sir. I do what I have to do for my own reasons. And that's that.
I'm not sure Mr. Lewis would agree with your by all means necessary philosophy, sir.
Oh, do you really think he's the poor victim here? Barrett can be as sneaky as anyone. Long ago, I even called the bastard my best friend.
Have you recent news of Nurse...
I saw her wandering the streets. Yesterday, I think. She didn't...
Have you...
I saw...
Goodbye.
Fancy bar.
You never lose your focus. Joe Peterson. He's the villain here, isn't he? But you...
I've known Joe for years. I saw him box once or twice. He was a friend.
What can you tell me about Mr. Peterson? Besides his behavior toward you, obviously.
Colossus Joe was a decent boxer, good one even. But after his wife passed away, he found every excuse to stop training. Just wanted to pick fights with everyone.
It's never easy to find a new path in life. Especially after...
We've all had some rough times, ain't we? But most of us don't use our fists to see us through.
And no one has ever stood up.
Nobody would be fool enough to stand against a wet boot. I know.
What
Color?
It's never...
We've all...
Do you have any news of Nurse...
It appears those who dare to get healthcare from that bitch are never seen again. Something fishy going on there, for sure.
Goodbye. Good evening.
It's Father Whitaker, my son.
Tobias Whitaker, confess why you burnt those people alive.
I have done what no one was ready to do. I will smite the flesh of the unclean to protect the righteous.
You are just another heartless murderer. exploiting the epidemic to kill with impunity.
No! No. The only way to contain the...
You're not the savior of London. You're just...
I take no pleasure in this awful cleansing, Dr. Reed. I am only driven by the thousands of innocents I save each night.
Why did you send Samuel to the cemetery, Tobias? What did you see there?
I sent him on a vision. A dream of a dreadful and laughing queen covered with blood, sleeping with the dead and feeding on the fear of the dying.
A laughing queen dressed in blood. Tell me more.
This epidemic is her feast, the announcement of her return. Against her, science is no more than a child.
But who is she?
She is the mother of harlots and abomination of the earth. She is Babylon, drunk on the blood of the saints.
What? You sent a man to die because of a stupid vision. I have heard enough of your nonsense.
Goody.
Good. Good evening.
And good evening to you.
Have you recent news of Nurse?
Not at all, sir.
Very- Good evening, Christina.
Shit.
Good.
You are blinded by your fault.
Good evening.
It's...
Have you recent news?
If you propagate the devil's work, you'll perish by the
I have found Samuel, your disciple.
I already expected the worst. He should already have come back.
Yes, he is now.
Samuel steadily made donations to our cause. He would have rewarded you himself if you'd found me in that awful cemetery.
Your disciple, Samuel, stole from the dead in Stonebridge Cemetery. I have proof of his crime and proof of his death.
No! Samuel was the best of us. So devoted, so zealous. He gave all he had for the cause. He tirelessly preached the good word.
He defiled the dead with his petty thefts. That's how he financed your misguided crusade.
Think what you will. When this city is saved, he will be praised for his devoted fortitude. He walked boldly into the mouth of abomination.
Your precious Samuel used you. He was an
If that's true, then he will be my bird.
I have heard enough. It's locked. Good evening, Mr. Petrescu.
I could ask you the exact same question, Mr. Doctor.
I heard what happened to Nurse Crane.
Everything was going well until you arrived. Dorothea helped people and will be sorely missed.
I regret it too. I wish she'd continued working.
So you put an end to the operation?
You seem to have a lot on your chests.
I heard you are a famous surgeon.
I didn't use drugs or medical trickery, Mr. Petrescu. All I did was talk to Nurse Crane. I promise.
But what happened to her then? After you left, she did not even recognize me. Then she got careless and sick, and I had to flee.
Tell me everything you know about Camellia, the mute.
I do not believe in the afterlife, Doctor, but I'm almost... I do...
Who? You say...
Well...
Are you...
Don't...
What do you plan to do now?
I'm not sure. Strange men came to see me after Dorothea's death, with strange weapons and very odd
What kind?
Stories all Romanian children know. It was as if I was home again. Vampires, Mr. Doctor. Vampires.
You believe them? Aren't you too old to hold a weapon or listen to
Yes, I am old and alone and will die soon, but if these stories are true, maybe I have found my...
Are you living on the street?
And why not? Those who believe they'll be safe behind walls are
What about your...
My house is always open to any poor soul needing a roof. All my work here is lost now that Dorothea is gone.
Why are you...
I remember the night you came here and convinced me to open my door to you, sir. I'd like to punch you right on your chops.
Tell me...
I do not believe...
Are you not...
She is...
Are you in love with...
Don't be stupid.
Goodbye.
Good evening, my...
Have you any news on...
It seems her dispensary isn't so busy nowadays.
Goodbye. How are you, boy?
I'm not your boy, all right? Now piss off.
Have you heard anything?
Never heard of her.
Have you...
Never heard of...
Good...
it! Watch out,
Remember your vows,
Freeman shall prevail! God walks with me! He's dead! It's a leech! Get it! Over there! Stay back, vermin!
Remorse and pain are precious when binding you to the earth. You. I remember you. Fear be gone. I would harm no child of my making.
This is your doing. You made me. Made me this creature. What are you?
I am the land. You are our champion.
Riddles and rhymes. You took my life.
Be stilled, my child. I bring...
What is it you seek?
This age is sickly. An ancient poison, an older rage, brewed in a cauldron newly forged.
This has something to do with the epidemic.
Seek truth, my champion. Defeat the serpent of knowing with iron spur.
I've had enough of others making decisions for me, pretending to know how I should feel or behave. So the vampire who made me is some sort of disembodied entity? Or was he just projecting this vision in my mind? Maybe Edgar can help me with this one.
God protect us. You've got a leech in the hospital.
Yes, my hospital. My mission is to heal while you go about warring.
You've set the table for a snake. I wonder why there's venom in your food.
I'm growing tired of your song. You're a woodsman, McCallum, not a doctor. Return to your hunt.
Remember, I've a good nose for machinations. I can flare the scent at a mile. You can't hide from the god.
Leave him, Jonathan. This is sacred ground. Neutral territory. And I just had the carpet cleaned. By the sacred stole, this is very bad news. Bad news indeed.
What happened?
The hospital has been attacked. We have injured patients, at least one dead and several missing. This has spiraled out of control. Even the most infirm are asking to be allowed to return home.
Are you worried about the situation or your reputation? Now is not the time to think of oneself.
Of course, you're right. But we cannot afford a public scandal. It would ruin us. We must restore order, and quickly.
You mentioned a dead patient. Who is he?
She, Jonathan. She was Miss Harriet Jones. I found her room like a slaughterhouse. Blood everywhere. The duty nurse is taking care of the mess.
Very well.
I know this place means something to you. I have noticed how you suppress your appetite when around the staff and patients.
You need to know you can trust me, Edgar.
I do, dear fellow, I do.
Please then, tell me.
Sean Hampton, the man we thought we'd saved at the docks. It seems he was infected after all.
So Hampton became more beast than man.
Exactly. And now Guard of Prewen suspects the hospital of vampire activity. Do you realize what that could mean for us?
Do you really believe they would come for us here? In such a...
McCallum is a fanatic. The Guard will stop at nothing. You don't know what they're capable of, Jonathan.
Very well. Since I brought Mr. Hampton here...
Sean Hampton lives and breathes for the well-being of his flock. There's no other place he would go but the docks.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Do you need medical help yourself?
I'm afraid I've contracted some illness, Dr. Reed.
Not under my watch, nurse. Take this.
Thank you, Dr. Reed.
What can you tell me about the recent commotion?
Everybody's afraid. Death has always been a freak.
As a nurse at this hospital, it is your duty to deal with these things as best you can.
Yeah. Until it's my turn to have blood spread all over the walls. I entered the room first, Dr. Reed. I'm sick.
Good.
Daily routine.
Good evening, Miss Howcroft.
I need blood, Doctor.
Is there anything you can tell me about...
Many things can happen under cover of night, Dr. Reed. But I took no part in this massacre.
But did you see or hear anything?
I can't say I did, but the smell of fresh blood almost made me faint.
Do you require my service?
My condition cannot be understood by you, mortal. This...
I will come and check on...
What your last thought?
Feel disgust on every streetcar.
Good evening.
Evening.
Can you tell me...
Before the shouts and the noises, I think I heard whispers coming from the stairs. 2 voices.
Did you recognize the voices?
I couldn't hear. Sounded like they were arguing.
Soldier?
Not really. I think I caught something in this...
As long as you remain here, I will make sure you don't have to worry about your health.
Don't think you can do much about it.
Goodbye for now.
What on earth happened here?
With the fever.
Doctor, please.
Damn it. Blaming me will not
I'm quite...
Do you need my...
Don't be ridiculous. I'm capable of dealing with this myself. I've just not taken the time to do so.
Then you are lucky that I have taken the time to do so. Consider it a gesture of solidarity between...
I wish this hospital could have received as much attention from you, Dr. Reed. We do not see you in surgery very often.
What can you tell...
Nothing like this would have happened if we'd had enough staff and prop...
So you don't think the blame is ours?
We all hold fast here, Dr. Reed.
Thank... Good evening. Do you need any...
I'm afraid I may, sir.
I will see... What?
I had shouting coming from the first floor. I was... Good evening, sir. Doctor.
Good evening.
Do you require...
Do you...
Despite what you think about this place, I can tell you...
Well, at least your reputation seems well deserved.
What can you...
It's a disgrace. How on earth can patients be...
Goodbye.
So many deaths. Still no coming. How can we be sure we're making a difference? Waste of time with me.
I cannot enter.
Oh, sweet girl.
This hospital seems to be falling apart. But in the circumstances, I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Time with me.
Good evening, Mr. Goswell.
I'm okay.
Do you need a...
I'm afraid I may...
You are not a burden, sir. Healing...
And you have my gratitude.
I have...
I'm all right. Waste your time with me.
Good evening, Mr.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Please.
I heard Miss Jones call for help from her bedroom. There were some loud noises, like people fighting. All of a sudden, it went quiet. And then a nurse started screaming.
Do you know who the nurse was?
Not sure, but I think it was Nurse Hawk.
Is there anything else that's bothering you?
Really? Why has no one else asked me that since I got here? I thought I was in a hospital.
Unfortunately, you are not the only person.
Well, perhaps you're right, Dr. Reed. I'm sure if me missus was still alive, she wouldn't be happy with me going...
Goodbye.
My sweet girl.
It's locked, all right.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Have we met before?
I don't think so, sir.
When we first talked, you said you were glad to meet me since I was reported dead.
Funny story, sir. Your sister came here a few nights ago. You were missing, and she was looking for your body.
Are you afraid or uneasy being surrounded?
Why should I? These bodies are empty vessels. Flat.
An interesting point of view. And quite an exotic.
Sir, as a medic during the war, I learned to face my death and the death of others. It's the pain we have to tame.
How did you...
After I left the army, I worked as an under...
Do you work here?
Yes, very easy work, sir. All I have to do is watch a few bodies. The situation was very different when the main morgue was still open.
Why do you...
Because these poor fellows have no names. We keep them in case someone comes looking for the missing. Sadly, very rarely happens.
Why close the hospital's main morgue?
It was for sanitary reasons after the beginning of the epidemic.
Since you're not afraid of dying, do you believe in life?
No. I believe we must do all the good we can while alive. For our time is short, and the obstacles...
Do you think you would enjoy immortality?
I don't think so. Don't mistake me. I love life, and I'd like to live a long life. But everything has to decay, sir.
Do you really believe?
As I said, sir, everything decays. If I was to never die, goodness, I would be bored or worse. And I'll...
Quite depressing, wouldn't you say?
Yes, but the good news is, we'll all die before losing our humanity, sir.
So you're ready?
No, I am not. I don't fear death, for I won't see it. What troubles me is the pain my death will inflict to those...
You're a wise man.
No, Dr. Reed. I am a foolish man.
Can you tell me...
Oh, goodness me. This whole story is such a shame.
What are you talking about?
Poor Miss Jones. Her body is missing.
Miss Jones's body?
Yes. The body was brought here this morning.
Who could have...
That's exactly what I asked myself for the whole day.
Do you need medical...
Well, the proximity of the dead is not the most healthy company. Even if the quiet can be...
Don't take too many risks with your health, Mr. Chidana. None of us are immune to this disease.
And that is a good thing. Death and disease is a constant reminder of our mortality. But you have my thanks.
Goodbye. Good evening.
And good evening to you, Dr. Reed.
Tell me, Thoreau, what's the real cause of your dislike for Dr. Ackroyd?
He refuses to admit that your blood transfusion technique is the only way to save Mr. Fiddick. I'm convinced.
What Dr. Ackroyd really said is that you lack the skill to perform this operation efficiently. Is there anything...
It's a false conceit. Dr. Ackroyd secretly envies your reputation. His jealousy blinds him. I'm not the real target.
Can you
I'm sure it was not your fault, Dr. Reed.
My fault?
Oh, nothing. It's just... I heard it was you who brought the murderer inside our walls. But...
Goodbye, Doctor...
And goody...
Do you need my...
I would have...
I will... Good...
Oh, Jonathan. I cannot believe my eyes. Poor...
Yes, and I'm afraid I'm at least partially responsible. The man, the scowl,
Jonathan, how could you say so?
Forgive me if I feel despondent. For there seems to be no end to the suffering and death that surround.
I'm always here for you, Jonathan.
What do you know of Ascalon? I was threatened by a creature.
What more can you tell me about him?
He was bigger than a man. Huge, in fact. He seemed to radiate violence. I thought he was going to tear me apart.
Fergal, the executioner of Ascalon. You were fortunate he was not after you, but rather out doing his master's bidding.
What is?
The Ascalon Club are the most powerful vampires in Britain and exert tremendous influence. Take my advice.
I have experienced a certain difficulty when faced with holy symbols or trying to enter religious buildings.
Now that's quite a question. I don't know why, but yes, it has happened to me.
Is this a sign? The hand of God in action?
I don't have the answers, Jonathan. But I believe superstition and magic is just fact awaiting the lens of sight.
Aren't you?
Very little scares me, my dear. To be compelled to avoid symbols of faith does not concern me.
Have you embraced this woman? Like the other patient, this Mr.
Her name was Amelia. And no, I did not kill her. I vowed a very long time ago that I would never take another life.
Is there sufficient vitality in the blood of the sick?
Yes, Jonathan. The hunger gnaws at me every waking hour.
Temptation surrounds us. Rich.
Over the years, any pleasure I once gleaned from feeding is long gone.
Thank you, my lady. Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening.
Why does Dr. Tippett's claim you're the main reason he keeps working?
If it wasn't for him, I probably would have left the Pembroke years ago.
Dr. Tippett does not think of you as just a nurse anymore, does he?
If you're suggesting he's not taking my gender into consideration when it comes to medical practice and knowledge, I really...
Do you require medical...
I will be fine.
Nurse, you won't be able to help people if you're sick.
I'll try, Dr. Reed.
Goodbye.
Hey, Doc.
What can you
All I know is I ain't letting anyone rip my throat out of.
You're lucky to be alive, Mr. Cox. I hope you're still...
This place is full of sickness and decay.
Consider yourself lucky that I'm treating all of my...
Don't play the innocent with me. I'm sure you have good reasons to act this way. And also weaknesses that can be exploited.
I'll leave you.
A pig stop still better.
Good evening.
Evening, Doc.
Do you need medical...
Don't get me wrong, sir. I'm grateful for what you've done, but I've never felt comfortable with doctors.
I will see... Good...
Does it, boys? Do this, man.
Crush the leaves, boys! Stop it, leaves! Please, sir. Over there! There's one of them vermin!